Unit 5, Lesson 2, Part 2, Partial Variation. So in the previous video, we had started looking at a partial variation where we were given a table of values. We determined what the equation of the line is y equals 3x plus 4. So now what we're going to do is we're going to graph the relation. So the first thing I want to do is using this graph here, I'm going to graph the numbers. So I'm actually going to use the perimeter of the graph. So I'm just going to darken the lines a little bit. And then I will insert the numbers and then graph. Okay, so I'm going to go up by ones for the x values. So this is my x. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we'll go up to 10. And then for my y values, if I look at the previous chart, I think the highest value was 25. So I think what I'll do is I'll see what my increment should be. Should it be 5? So 1, 2, 3. Actually, you know what? I can go up by 3s. As long as I'm doing it in equal interval, then that's fine. So I'm going to go up by 3s on my y. So that would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay. And I think I need to go one more, 27. Okay, so if I take a look at my previous chart, I can use those as my table of values. So when x is 0, y is 4. So I'm going to put my first dot approximately right there. When x is 1, y is 7. So that's approximately right there. And then I'm just going to keep going. So 2 is 10. So 10 is about there. 3 and 13. 4 and 16, 5 and 19, and then I had 7 and 25, which is about there. Okay, so I've plotted my points. Now I can, they are linear, so it's forming a nice straight line. So using my ruler, I'm going to connect the dots like that. Okay, so now I've graphed my line. I can see that it's a partial variation. So you can see that this is 0, 0. My line does not commence at 0, 0. So it is a partial variation. And now I want to describe the graph. So the first thing I can say is that it is a linear relationship. So what that means is that it forms a straight line, which is another description that I can use. So it forms straight line. It starts initial value is at x is equal to 4 and x is equal to 0, y is equal to 4. And it also is sloping upwards, so it's a positive relationship. So it means as x increases, y increases. So positive relationship. And as x increases by 1, so as our x increases by 1, our y increases by 3. Okay, so those are my descriptive words for this graph. Okay, so let's actually do an example of a word problem. So it's example number 3 says, a charity is planning on renting a hall for a fundraiser. The cost of renting the hall is $200. There is an additional cost of $3 for each person attending the fundraiser for the entrance fee. So when I look at this question, I can see two quantities. I see 200 and then I see 300. This 200 does not change. The $3 is going to change according to how many people attend. So that first number is called our fixed cost. So your fixed cost means how much does it cost initially when you have 0 people attending. So it doesn't matter if 100 people attend, 1,000 people attend, 0 people attend, the hall rental is going to cost the person $200. The variable cost is the cost that can change. So this $3 is dependent on the number of people that go to the fundraiser. So the more people that go, the more the variable cost will increase. So the variable cost is the $3 per person. So fixed cost is 200 and the $3 is our variable cost. So when we put this into an equation, this 200, in terms of mx plus b, the 200 is our b and the 3 is our m. So the next part of the question says, write an equation relating the cost in dollars and the number of people. So our cost is our y. This is our equation. So just like we've been using y equals mx plus b, we're now going to relate it in terms of cost and people of attending. So write an equation relating the cost and the number of people n. So I'm going to use the letter C to represent the cost. My m is $3 times the number of people that attend, so 3n. So that means my cost is $3 per person, where n represents the number of people that are attending, plus I have to pay $200 initially for that fixed cost. Okay, so your formula is C equals 3n plus 200. Now that I have my equation, I can use it to determine what the cost will be by subbing in various numbers for people attending. So it says, use your equation to determine the final cost if 150 people attend. So if 150 people attend, people is represented by n. Determine the final cost. So I want a dollar amount. So then I can use my equation to figure out this problem. So I always start with my original equation. So C is equal to 3n plus 200. So cost is my question mark. That is what I want to find out. My n is going to be substituted in here, and then I can just simplify. So cost is equal to 3 times 150 plus 200. So C is equal to 3 times 150, which is 450, plus my fixed cost of 200. So the cost is equal to 650. Now, because this is a word problem, you must always include a final statement. So therefore, the final cost will be $650. Okay, so that concludes lesson 2. Please attempt the accompanying worksheet. Again, you don't have to do all the questions, just try a few from each set of, or each type of question.